Hi guys, Halina here, and today I'm going to be doing another book recommendation, so stay tuned. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at Black Widow Forever Red by Margaret Stoll. Now, I'm going to talk about the cover first because it is really, really beautiful. So the lettering really pops off for Black Widow Forever Red and for Margaret Stoll as well. It's really hard to tell, but it pops off a little bit and it's really cool. And then you got Natasha, very clearly Natasha Romanoff. And one of the beautiful things about this story as well is the exclusive Red Widow comic inside. Who the Red Widow is? Well, you have to read the story to find out. So let's take a look at all of that a little bit. Now, there is a sequel. The sneak peek for the sequel is in the story as well. But the comic, Red Widow First Strike, looks a lot like Natasha's symbol, but different. And so, little bits of the comic. It's a short comic, but it's very sweet. So yeah, like I said, there is a sequel. I haven't read the sequel yet. When I do, I will review it. I don't know when that video will show up, because I really don't know when I'm going to finish reading it. Life is really crazy right now. So, yeah. So, basically, I'm going to read the summary on the back. See the back there? Very nice, very nice. And then we'll go from there. So, I'm going to tell you right now, there's names in the summary that I cannot pronounce, and I am going to butcher it, and I am sorry if I offend anybody by butchering it. I am not Russian. I'm Polish, but I'm not Russian. So, pronouncing Russian names isn't exactly a piece of cake. So, yeah. Onto the summary. Then her eyes closed, and the fire and the chaos and the death and the noise disappeared, just like the red-haired woman. Natasha Romanoff is one of the world's most lethal assassins, trained from a young age in the arts of death and deception. Natasha was given the title of Black Widow by Ivan Samodrov, her brutal teacher at the Red Room, Moscow's infamous academy for operatives. There's the name, y'all. I cannot pronounce the name whatsoever, and it shows up a lot in the story. Ava Orlova is just trying to fit in as an average Brooklyn teenager, but her life has been anything but average. The daughter of a missing Russian quantum physicist, Ava was once subjected to a series of ruthless military experiments, until she was rescued by Black Widow and placed under SHIELD protection. Ava has always longed to reconnect with her mysterious savior, the Black Widow, but Black Widow really isn't the big sister type. Until now. When children all over Eastern Europe begin to go missing and rumors of smuggled Red Room tech light up the dark net, Natasha suspects her old teacher has returned, and that Ava Orlova might be the only one who can stop him. To defeat the madman who threatens their future, Natasha and Ava must unravel their pasts. Only then will they discover the truth about the dark-eyed boy with an hourglass tattoo who haunts Ava's dreams. Yeah, so that is the summary. It's a very long summary, but honestly, it is a lot of fun. It really is. So basically, character-wise, it is very much an Ava and Natasha story. It really is. There are Plenty of characters who show up. Some are new, some are very familiar to Marvel fans. The Marvel fans will recognize the names of Phil Coulson and Tony Stark. Now, Phil Coulson shows up a little bit in the story. Like, he's not a main character, but he very much plays a role in the story. Whereas Tony Stark sort of shows up towards the end, and he doesn't really have that huge of a role in the story. In terms of new characters, other than Ava, there is Ava's friend Oksana, who is literally sort of the epitome of side character. Like, she doesn't really do much in the story. She's just sort of almost like a talk to for Ava when she is released from Shield, headquarters and stuff like that. She goes out into the world and she makes friends with Oksana, and it's just really sort of a talk to character. And then, of course, as the summary says, the dark-eyed boy with an hourglass tattoo who haunts Ava's dreams. Yeah. I will tell you that his name is Alex. He has a last name. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going into trying to pronounce Russian last names. But he is definitely an interesting character. He is very much alluded to in the beginning when Ava's having these mysterious dreams about this boy, and it's like, okay, like, why am I dreaming about him? Who is he? Does he even exist? Spoiler alert, he does. He does exist, and he has plenty of secrets that are unknown to many. Many people are unaware of his secrets. And his secrets are pretty big, I think. Yeah, and the reason why he's showing up in Ava's dreams may not be what you would think. So, it's a very interesting story of, like, adventure and mystery and intrigue and espionage, and there's just... Margaret Stohl does such a phenomenal job of creating this story for Natasha, who has had such a long life pre-MCU, but yet not a whole lot is known about her past. And Margaret Stohl does such a phenomenal job. Honestly, Margaret Stohl has written a lot of Marvel type stories, and this is just one of them. And honestly, she does a magnificent job of bringing these characters that we know, like Natasha, like Phil Coulson, like Tony Stark, bringing them into the story, but also creating these brand new characters, and giving them sort of life and an identity of their own, and really just mixing these two worlds together. She does such a brilliant job of that. So, the one thing that I want to talk about is the interesting style formatting for this. So basically, when we start 8 years ago somewhere in the Ukraine. And I'm closing that because I don't want people to start reading it. So we basically start at the beginning. Ava is a child. She's rescued by Natasha. That is the setup of the whole story. But as we go further in, we get this very interesting situation. Shield case. And we can see line of duty death investigation from Agent Philip Coulson. to Nick Fury. Yeah. So, line of duty death is the key thing. Where you spend the whole story not knowing who is going to die. And it's really interesting because you go through the story knowing that somebody's going to die very early on. Like, that was like after like chapter 3, that whole figuring out line of duty death. But you don't know who's going to die. And it's really interesting to come with that knowledge going into the story that there's somebody going to die. And you just have no idea who. And as you're reading, you know, for me personally, I was reading and I was like trying to figure out like, okay, like who's going to like randomly show up and who's going to die. But I can tell you right now, I did not guess where this whole story was going. I did not guess the twists and the turns. And I certainly didn't guess the line of duty death either. So, it is really interesting. And like I said, for anybody who wants Black Widow front and center in her own type of story, we got it right here. And that is good because who knows when Black Widow movie's going to come out. Yeah, so we got Margaret Stoll basically delivering a Black Widow masterpiece, combining old characters, familiar characters, with brand new characters that we've never heard of, and giving us intrigue and mystery and adventure and action and all of it just delivered within this story. So that is Black Widow Forever Red. Highly recommend it. Apparently my dog does too. Yeah, so that is Black Widow Forever Red by Margaret Stoll. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. Follow me on all the socials, the link is in the description down below, and I will see you all in another video. Bye guys.